Hello, good morning, or whatever time you're watching this. I hope you had a fantastic have a fantastic day. And I am. So I figured I would make a YouTube video today. And so I'm going to kind of update on some stuff that has happened this past couple months, so that you guys going forward, so this is all going to be about my relationship with Jesus. So it's going to be a lot of personal information. I'm sure he'll give me something for all of you guys, but it's just to show you what it's like to have a relationship with Jesus. So it's going to be my relationship with Jesus. And so going forward, you're going to have to know stuff that has happened in the past to be able to understand things in the future. So I'm going to start kind of about what God's been doing with me right now, but I'm going to start where it started in the past. So I'll start around where I graduated. So I started working before I graduated, a couple months early. And so then when I graduated, I had planned on moving in with a graduate and her husband. And I ended up doing that, but not for very long. So, and when I moved in with them, there was just something, I didn't feel peace. It had nothing to do with them, but just like for me, it was like I wasn't where I was supposed to be. And so I came to visit the girls for a couple days, and he like pushed me back. He wooed me back. So I came back, and I'm happier than I've ever been in a really, really long time. And God's just doing some really, really crazy, awesome stuff with me and in my life. And so it's kind of gonna start with my work situation, what's happened recently. So I was still working after that, after I graduated, for a while. And but God told me to quit a long time ago. Told me to quit my job, and I didn't, but I thought he made a way for me. But I see now where I could have manipulated the situation in my favor. So I ended up not quitting. And so I stayed on, and this came up again a couple weeks ago. I kept feeling in my spirit like, quit your job. And I was like, God, I don't want to quit my job, you know? And it was during a class that we were in, and that same class, I felt like he was bringing up my YouTube thing, which God had told me a long time ago that I was going to be doing something with YouTube. I had a couple visions of it, and he brought that up very strong with the quit my job. Quit your job, do YouTube videos. I was like, I don't know, God. So I pushed it away. And then the next day, before I went into work, I started getting anxiety attack, and I was getting a panic attack, and I was like, I can't go into work. And I don't ever call out of work. The only time I might give someone my shift or like switch with people, but very, very rarely. If I'm sick, really sick, I'll call out of work, but I don't just call out of work like that. And especially at this job, I've been doing really good, and I've been working really hard, and I wanted it to be good this time. I wanted it to be done the right way. I didn't make any excuses. I didn't lie about anything, and I really just like put my all into it. So I called out. And so I knew if I went in, it would just be terrible and a crazy mess, but it also put them at a loss for me not going in. So they suspended me, which is what I thought they were going to do, suspend me. And so then the next day, one of my coworkers calls me, and she's like, did you get fired? And I was like, no. What do you mean, did I get fired? She's like, well, so-and-so called me and told me that you got fired yesterday. And I was like, what? So I texted one of my managers. I was like, did I get fired? And she's like, oh, I don't know, you know? And so then a couple days go by, and I'm Black Friday shopping, and I'm thinking to myself, there's no way I got fired, you know? I never do that, you know? I maybe a warning, or I understand me getting suspended, but I never thought I'd get fired. And so, and I couldn't help it, you know, getting anxiety and panic attack. I couldn't help it. So, but I understand where they're coming from. I have to put that out there. I do. So, we're Black Friday shopping, and I get a text from my manager saying, hey, I talked with the other managers. Yes, you are fired. And I'm like, what? I said, nobody told me. Like, it was just so, like, to me, it was just crazy, and I got really mad, and I was like, all up in my head, and I'm like, I used to blackmail people, I used to do such bad things, and I never got in trouble for anything, and now I work my hardest and I get fired. Are you serious? You know, blah blah blah. And God, I felt God be like, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. What you're thinking right now, that is not of me. None of it. I don't like that. And so I'm like trying so hard to fight it. And I'm starting to come to grips with it to where I'm not going to cry if I talk about it. So then I go and I tell my mom. And everybody's having a good time. I did not want to tell everybody. I felt like it was just going to ruin the whole thing. But I couldn't help my facial expressions. I couldn't help how I was, like, what was going on inside of me. So I told my mom, and my mom was like, what? Like, she was like super confused. Like, to me it really confused me, but it was very like God. I know now it was God. So, or it was the devil, and God turned it for the good because he already knew it was going to happen. So my mom, she's like, you just told me God told you to quit. Like, you were thinking about quitting anyways. He made the decision for you, you know? And I'm like, wow, you know what? You're right. But I think there was some pride still in me there that was like, well, it's one thing if I quit, it's another thing if I get fired, you know? But however it works, it works. So I was saying, I'm like, well, now I really got to focus on my YouTube videos. And I was like, but I need a computer. And I was already going to ask my mom to bring her computer, but I decided not to for some reason. So we're going around shopping, looking at everything, and I'm like on a mission. I'm like, I just want to look for a computer, but there was nothing, like no computer stores around. And so, but I made that very clear that I needed a computer. And she said, God will provide, God will provide. So I ended up telling a few of the girls like what's going on, and they're really like comforting me, and I'm still being like trying not to be super nasty, but I'm like, it was affecting me, like not good. And so the next day I'm like, okay, you know what? There's nothing I can do about it. It's just God. I'm just gonna have to handle it. Oh, I'm sorry. I went too forward. Okay, so that night, my mom drops off the girls, and we're getting in the car to go to Applebee's to eat. And she said, I have a surprise for you. And I was like, okay. She said, God told me today to bring my computer for you. And I started bawling. I was like, what? You know, like, that was such a confirmation from God that this is what I should be doing. I need to be doing these YouTube videos. So pray that I motivate myself to do it, because it's so hard for me to get myself to do this. And this is like my 6th time doing this video because I keep critiquing everything, but I need to not, and I need to just do it and get it over with, and God will do his thing. So anyways, the next day I came to grips with it. So a couple days after that, I went back in to go get my last check. And when I go in there, I see my manager, the one that like fired me. The whole thing kind of went down with him, and I was like really upset with him. And I went up to go get my check, and God said, give him a hug. And I was like, oh, no, God, I don't want to give him a hug. And he was like, ask for a hug. And so I said, can I have a hug? And he hugged me, and I just felt so much break off. It was just like, wow, you know, like I just felt like, you know, when you shake hands at a peace treaty, I just felt like it was like that, like just like, okay, we're good, you know. So then my other manager comes up and is like, so you guys got it figured out then? You're not fired, you're coming back, you're just suspended for the week? And I was like, what? You know, I'm like, no. And so then I'm like crying because I'm so emotional, all the stuff that's going on. And I was like, I don't know, I feel like God told me not to, you know. So I told him I don't know. So I said, I have to like think it over. And he's like, well, tell me by tomorrow. I said, okay. So I went home and I call the director's husband, and I was like, are you busy? I need to talk, blah blah blah. He's mentored me a lot through the whole job thing. So they come over to talk to me, and during all this, God had opened up a lot, not God, I keep saying that, a lot of opportunities opened up for me to work at a couple other restaurants. And so I'm like, yes, like this is awesome. And I felt like I was like, no, none of them. And I was like, what do you mean none of them? I need a job, you know, I need to work, you know. But he knows better than I do. So he knows I might make a bad decision if I go to one of those, you know. I might do something I shouldn't do, you know. So I'm like, okay, God, you know what's best for me. So I have a talk with them, and we agreed that I was just gonna go back and do some schooling, and I'm going to volunteer at the church. And so that's what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna go and start schooling again, and I'm gonna go and spend my time at the church. So just pray for me, keep me in your prayers, and I know it's God. I know it's God. And I had another confirmation about the YouTube thing last night. So I don't know where this is gonna lead or who this is gonna touch or what it's gonna do, but I just know that I trust him with it and that it's gonna be pretty good. We'll see what happens. So I just wanted to update you guys. So moving forward, I'll be like, oh, this happened, that was a confirmation, or this happened, you know. So this is where I'm at. I'm not working, but God provides everything. I trust full-heartedly that he's gonna provide everything for me. He's gonna pay the bills that I need to pay, even if I'm not working. So because it's what he wants me to do. So this might just be for someone who feels like what God is asking them to do is too much for them, but it's not. It's not too much for you. You can do anything. You do all things through Christ who gives you strength. So I just pray for everybody. I'll just pray right now. Lord, I just pray for everybody who's watching this video. I pray for anyone who needs help with anything, Lord. I just pray that you bless each and every person abundantly, Lord. Financially, I feel like this is about finances, Lord. I just pray so many blessings financially, Lord. I thank you for your obedient children. I thank you for the ones who are, send me, Lord. Bless them. Bless them, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. Well, that's it for today. I just wanted to update you guys, and thank you for everything. Thank you for walking with me through this, and I'm just really excited. I'm so excited to see what God has in store. So Merry Christmas. I'm not sure if I'll post another one before Christmas, but I'll try. So Merry Christmas, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.